Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Sustainable Library. Today, I'm talking to you guys about green energy. So let's go and firstly put this one in its place. So as I said, today we're talking about green energy. And during this time of lockdown, where we're now 2 months into it, we've all been spending more time at home. And I'm sure, like us, you've probably seen your energy bill creep up, and up. And this has prompted me to have a bit more of a think about what we can do to be more green with our energy and how we can also save money. So today I'm going to talk about 5 tips that I've investigated and actually tried to be more green with your energy in your home, but that would also in the long run save you money. So my first tip is all about smart devices, things like your smart bulbs and your smart plugs. So these are really nifty gadgets and tools that technology has given us to actually save on our energy usage as well. What's so nice about your smart bulbs is that you can use them anywhere in your home. These days you even have ones for your little downlighters, your smart bulbs for that, and you can link them to an app. Whether we have, for example, have TP-Link, so they have a Kasa app, and you can link your smart bulb to that, have that app on your smartphone, and you can actually see how much energy your different bulbs or devices are using, which is great because it makes you more aware of how much energy you're using. You can also link these devices to your smart home system if you have that. We have Google Home, so I can easily say, okay Google, turn on the lounge light, and she'll turn on the lounge light, which is amazing. So for me, it's made the worlds of difference to know that I can sit at my desk and just say, Google, turn off the monitor, and it's off. So that is my first tip. It's a way for you to monitor how much energy you're using, to be more aware of it, and just be more smart when it comes to your energy usage in terms of your lights and your plugs. My second tip is one that differs from country to country, because here in the UK we are able to choose between our energy providers. So we have chosen to go with a green energy provider called Octopus. I know there are others as well, like for example Bulb, and the thing is they basically create all their energy, all the electricity from green energy sources, which is great. However, this isn't always a possibility in all countries. For example, in South Africa, where you have one national grid service and that's all you have. So if you can't switch to a green energy provider, my advice would be to look for small ways that you can maybe generate your own energy. If you have the means to, for example, put solar panels on your house when you're doing an upgrade or when you're building a new house, why not go for that? So it's about looking at where your energy is coming from, and if you do have the option to have more control over your energy usage and where you get it from, then choose the greener option. My next tip might not sound like it would have such a big impact, and it's something that we probably forget about, but it's to not boil a full kettle if you only want 1 or 2 cups. So very handy, in fact, our kettles have a little measuring system on it. And if you don't have to boil the whole kettle, you're actually saving so much money. So here in the UK, we get charged per kilowatt, and you could save £2.50 by not boiling a full kettle. So that's because the kettle will take a shorter amount of time to boil lower volumes of water, and also it'll boil quicker, so you'll have your brew a little bit quicker. So this is a really important thing to do. Along with that, if you live in a place like England where your water has a lot of limescale in it, another way to save electricity is actually to descale your kettle quite often. And that's also just a way to keep your family healthy and keep your house clean. So because the limescale isn't sticking to your element, it actually boils quicker and easier, and in that way, once again, you're saving a whole bunch of energy just by boiling your cup of tea. Another easy tip to do in your home to save electricity is actually to make sure you do full loads of laundry. So this is something that, once again, I learned from my mom, and I always make sure to have a full load of laundry. I also try and choose the eco mode on my machines because that usually uses less electricity and slightly less water. The newer machines have all kinds of smart functionalities, like where it only fills up the amount of water that it needs for your loads. But if you have a slightly older machine, the important thing is to only wash full loads. And also another tip is to wash in colder water. Obviously, if you have limescale in your water, you need to make sure it's not ice cold, but you don't necessarily have to wash your clothes on more than 40 degrees. So because the water doesn't have to heat up as much, you're using less electricity. And my last tip is about heating and cooling your home. So we all live in different places with different climates. If you're here in the UK, we have very cold winters, although not as cold as some places, but it can get quite cold. And we have central heating systems. But have you ever thought of how much electricity and energy it uses to heat your whole house? So what we try to do is to put our heating on a timer so that it's not on throughout the day and it only comes on when we get home after work. If you are at home quite a lot, try only heat the rooms that you're in the most, and also close some doors to keep the heating inside. You can also, if it's not that cold, opt for a blanket or having some comfy slippers on rather than putting the heating on full blast. If you live in a place like South Africa where it can get extremely hot, you will most likely have aircon in your home. And personally, I'm not a fan of aircon because it dries out the air. But I understand that sometimes we want to cool ourselves. But why not rather look at opening some windows or getting a fan? I wouldn't recommend having your fan on all night because it also uses a huge amount of electricity, but rather open some windows or try and get an airflow in your house. I think that's the important thing when it's very hot. It doesn't help you open just one window. Try opening one on this side and on that side of your house to create airflow. And then at the same time, if you're working from home and it's really hot, why not opt for maybe working in the garden from time to time under a nice cool tree? I hope these couple of practical ways in which you can save some electricity around the house were helpful, and I hope that you'll try them as well. I have a bunch of more information and ideas on how you can save electricity on my website, sustainablelibrary.com, and I also have a piece on how we can lower our digital carbon footprint, which is really, really important and something that is becoming more evident as we move more online. So please have a look at that. I will link it down below so you can go have a look. But yes, I hope you found these tips helpful and that they'll save some electricity in your house, but also save you a little bit of money going forward. Until next time then, let's live sustainably.